first off, how did this get started? Where did this idea come from? Because this is spectacular. Welcome to Mornings on Main Street, Murfreesboro edition. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Beautiful wild horses are up for adoption this weekend at the Tennessee Livestock Center. This adoption incentive program is designed to help improve the overpopulated herd management areas in the western states. Learn more on this event and how it benefits the horses and the land. We get all of this information from the Bureau of Land Management. And an art show to show support for the LGBTQ and POC communities is happening this Saturday at Electric Peach Tattoo. The owner of the tattoo location and organizer of the art show shares what vendors will be on hand and why it was put on her heart to host. This and more coming up.
Welcome back to Today's Better Health. I'm Colleen Barton, and I'm here with Dr. Gil Kentoff and Dr. Wendy Toohey, and we're talking about the latest treatments in back and neck pain.
Many people, Colleen, come to see us with neck and back pain, and they develop tingling and numbness down the arm or lower back pain that develops into sciatica shooting down their leg. And for these patients, we have an advanced treatment technology, non-surgical decompression therapy that we really introduced to this area. It separates the vertebrae and creates a suction to allow fluids and nutrients back in to heal the disc naturally, relieving pressure on the nerve and on the joint. It's an amazing treatment.
We've been helping patients like this for the last 30 years, helping them get back to work, get back to their family, get back to the life they want to live.
I mean, it really is amazing. Technology helping us to live pain-free and better lives.
Right.
And I bet you have a special offer.
The first 25 callers will receive an examination, x-rays, review of our findings, and their first treatment, all for $39.
Call 615-551-3897 today to receive this special offer.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
Well, this morning we are in Murfreesboro. They're getting ready for an adoption incentive program with wild horses. If you do not, a majority of us may not know exactly what that is unless you're either in the business, you have horses. So we're going to learn about that this morning. To do that, we have from the Bureau of Land Management, we have Shayne Banks with us. Shayne, first off, thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you for coming out. We are so happy to have you. We are so happy to have the wild horses here in Murfreesboro.
These are some beautiful, beautiful creatures. First off, my first question, what is this adoption incentive program about?
What it is we have wild horses here this weekend that are up for adoption. We're looking for people to come out and give a home to these wild horses. Basically, just come out and give a wild horse a home. And the reason that we do this is basically that there's just too many wild horses in the United States today. We estimate that there's about 100,000 wild horses on public lands, public range lands that the Bureau of Land Management manages, and the land truly can only sustain about 30,000. So we round them up periodically throughout the year, and we offer them up to people to give them a good home across the country, and we're here this weekend.
So before, say, the event, do you have the horses either online, pictures of them with a little bit of where you were able to catch them? Do people, I guess, reach out to you then to say, hey, I'm interested? Or is it really is just that full adoption event where people just come out?
We have a little bit of both. There is an online corral adoption event that occurs, I think they do one about once every month.
Okay.
And so you can go online anytime throughout the year and you can look for these horses online, see their pictures, you can see videos of them moving, get an idea of what you want. You can adopt them online, and then we will work with you to transport that horse to an adoption event that's within driving distance for you, if that's the way you want to go. So we have about 45 horses here this weekend that have already been adopted, and they're just being picked up.
Gotcha. So let's go back to the number of horses out there. So there's about 100,000. The land can only sustain about 30,000. Say these horses stay out there and we don't have, this program didn't exist. What would happen, I guess, to the land and to not only horses but other animals?
Well, what we would see happen is the horses eventually are going to run out of resources. You're going to run out of grass or food. You're going to run out of water for the horses. And water really is the bigger problem than forage. And when that happens, you're going to see the horses starting to either die of thirst or die of starvation, which is not, Mother Nature is a mean person when she wants to be. It's not an easy death. So what we try to do, and it's not just the wild horses on public lands. You've got other wildlife. You have other resources. We've got people that are wanting to recreate on public lands. There's lots of different resources on public lands. We even have grazing on public lands. But there's also the problem of the land itself. If we get to a certain point of degradation on the public ranges, those ranges are never going to recover, at least not in my lifetime or your lifetime. And we don't want that either. We need to be able to strike a balance between the wild horses, the wildlife, and other competing resources and the range itself. So we're trying to strike that balance. And to do that, we have to remove some of the horses and try to find private homes for them. And these horses make fantastic pets. I mean, the catch is, when you come out here this weekend, it's only a $125 adoption fee, which is extremely low, but they're wild. They are wild. You're going to have to train these horses, and it does take time and it does take patience. But one thing that you have going for you now in this day and age of social media and networking is there is lots of different avenues out there where you can find help through volunteers. You can find help, what we call tip trainers, which are people who have been approved to train wild horses. And I'm sure that there's some in this area that you would be able to find that can help you learn how to train these horses. And it just takes time and patience. And if you're willing to spend that with these horses, then you've got a horse that's going to be loyal and love you and work with you.
Which brings me to my next question. What do you hear from the adopters?
Well, what's really funny for me is when you have people that come out to this event. In fact, I was talking to a lady this morning who adopted horses 30 years ago. Okay. And she wanted to come and tell me all her stories. Still had pictures of all her wild horses. Oh. And people come out here a lot of times with more pictures of their wild horses than they do their kids and their grandkids. So they usually do become part of the family. And, you know, people keep them forever or keep them for the rest of their lifetime. And that's what we want to see. That's the type of relationship that we want. We want people to come back again and again because they truly like the wild horses. Because when you adopt a wild horse, you're getting a blank canvas with the horse because you can train them the way you want to. That horse becomes, and the wild horses tend to be more loyal. They tend to be a little bit different than domestic horses because they've never been around people, and they tend to be herd animals. We talked a little bit about that. And eventually they'll see the adopter as part of their herd. Okay. So, you know, you've got this whole different relationship that you would have with some domestic horses. And so we have a lot of people who come back again and again. And you can ride them, you can train them, you can show them, you can do absolutely anything you want to with them if you'll take the time and the patience to do it.
That's beautiful. When it comes to the, I guess, catching process, for those who don't know, what is that like? What does that look like?
Yeah, people always want to know, how do you catch the wild horses?
Right.
And people have this view in their head of us going out with cowboys and chasing them with ropes, and that's not the way it works. We actually catch them with helicopters. So we'll go into an area that we know has got too many horses and identify this area. We'll go out and we'll build what we call a trap site, which looks a little bit like this. You'll have the panels and everything set up, and then we'll have wings that go out on the sides in a big V, and it'll have burlap on the sides to make it look a little bit more solid. And then the helicopters will go out and guide the horses back towards that trap site. Once they get really close to it, we have a horse that'll be a trained horse that'll be at the end. We'll let that horse go. Typically the wild horses follow them right into the trap. That's when the cowboys come out with their little whips and help run them in, and then we capture the horses. Once we have them captured, we'll go through and we'll look at the animals because, again, we don't want to remove all the wild horses from public lands. We just need to remove enough that we've got that balance where the horses are healthy and the land is healthy. We'll decide which horses will go into the adoption program and then which horses will go back out on the range. And typically we try to bring as many young horses as we can into the adoption program because they're easier to train and most people are more willing to give them a chance. And most of the horses here this weekend, we have a whole pen of babies. We've got some really nice mares and some geldings. We've got some really nice horses here this weekend.
Absolutely fascinating. And the Bureau of Land Management, they're in a different state each month. Am I correct in that?
We do. Our office is actually located in Flowood, Mississippi, which is in the Jackson area, kind of in the middle. We have an 11-state jurisdiction, so we cover the entire Southeast, and our goal is to try to hit one state per month throughout the year.
Okay. If someone would like more information, if they would like some more information about your adoption programs or just the Bureau of Land Management, where do they need to go?
You can go to it's a website to go to. It's a national website. It's blm.gov. Okay. You'll be able to find the tab for the wild horses. It'll have all the phone numbers for the different offices we have across the country if you're looking to come. If you have questions this weekend and you're available, just come see us. We will be here all weekend. We'll be here till Saturday at 1.
Saturday at 1 o'clock. This is at Middle Tennessee State University in Murfreesboro. And what is the center called that we're in? I should know this.
We are in the Tennessee Livestock Center. I think we're right next to the football stadium.
So right there, easy to find. And again, you'll see the parking lot. It will be full of cars. So head on out if you have questions. Shayne, thank you so much. Shayne Banks with the Bureau of Land Management. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for coming out. We hope you all come out and give a horse a home. If you're not interested in adopting this time, just come out, take a look, ask some questions, and just see the wild horses because they don't always come to town.
That's amazing. Thank you again. For you guys, stick with us. When we come back, we're going to be checking in with Devin O'Day and Sylvia Gaynor to see what they're cooking up in the kitchen. I'll give you a little idea. It's all about strawberries. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel, urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Music City will be rocking June 23rd through the 25th with a different sound. The sound of NASCAR. The Ally 400 is back at Nashville Superspeedway, and this year, it's a night race. NASCAR in Nashville. It's guitars and fast cars under the lights. Visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to get your tickets today for the triple header weekend.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, there is a wonderful art show happening this weekend at Electric Peach Tattoo in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We have the owner of Electric Peach Tattoo, Linz Chadwick, with us to tell us about the Electric Peach Art Show. And this is all to support the LGBTQ and POC community out there. Lindsay, first off, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're gearing up for a fun Saturday. How many vendors will be on hand?
We'll be having about 20 plus vendors, and we're also having a food truck from Wise Girls. That's a plant-based food truck.
Why was it put on your heart to be that person to show them that support and to have an event to support them?
Whenever I opened my business, I wanted to make sure that I offered a safe space for everybody, the POC community and LGBTQ, because the tattoo community really doesn't spotlight those types of safe spaces. So I have the building to do it, and I wanted to showcase everybody.
This will be full of those vendors. As you were putting this out there, what were your friends saying? What were those in the LGBTQ and POC community? What did they say to you?
They really didn't say much because it's already expected from my shop to be part of this community. We have a lot of queer artists here, non-binary, trans, so on and so forth. So it was just something that we already do. Everybody is obviously excited just to hang out. Even if nobody shows up, everybody's just going to be here to meet and network and just have a good time.
Are there any artists that we may know from their names?
I mean, we have Luna Snow. They're an artist here at the shop. They specialize in a lot of anime type work, new school, so on and so forth. They'll be selling art. My friend Eld Stitch Horrors, they make these amazing handmade stuffed animals that are novelty, anywhere from old 90s cartoons to Zelda and horror double-headed Care Bears and so on and so forth. I'm lucky enough to open the doors and learn about a lot of artists in my community too. So it's all new to me as well.
Well, speaking of artists, Lindsay, of course, is an artist. You're an artist yourself again with the tattoo shop and what you do here. Tell us a little bit about your tattoo shop before I let you go.
I am the first female tattoo shop owner in Rutherford County, so that's a big deal. But I just made sure to open my doors to kind of a lot of people that were treated indifferently in the industry and make sure that they had a safe space to grow. That was my main goal when becoming an owner. I never wanted to be a tattoo shop owner because it is super stressful, but I do not regret it a single day, even if my hair turns gray, even though I get it colored. But the stress is worth it. I have a very large family here, and I appreciate them every day.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate your time and what you do for the community. So, Lindsay, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Again, head out this weekend to Murfreesboro, Tennessee to Electric Peach Tattoo for the Electric Peach Art Show. Here's a really good look at the flyer. This is what caught my attention earlier yesterday when I was at another interview and wanted to share it with you in case you wanted to stop by. So once again, come out. You have your chance to support the LGBTQ and POC community out there right here in Murfreesboro. What is that address, Lindsay?
It is 118 West Vine Street. It's right across from the library. And make sure if you come to park at the library parking lot because parking's limited on the square.
Yes, it is. So be careful where you park. But you come on out Saturday morning. And what time does this start?
It starts at 10 and goes till 5.
Fantastic. Stick right here. When we come back, Chris Yao takes us to First Horizon Park to meet up with the Savannah Bananas.
There's a lot to consider when it comes to choosing a Medicare plan. That's where Health Markets Insurance Agency can help. Independent licensed insurance agents who work with Health Markets can answer your questions about the different parts of Medicare, when you can enroll, benefits, costs, and more. Speak to a local licensed insurance agent today to get started on your Medicare journey.
I'm so excited about this new show.
Dino Trek is back again this year. It's bigger than we've ever had it before.
When they're about 5 months old, we'll start seeing them sticking their head out of the pouch, or you might see a foot come out or a tail.
It's like an Airbnb for Joey's. Now, you're not going to see all three of them together because cats in general don't get along unless it's time to get along, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my.
Well, we're 2/3 of the way there. It's animals, nature, and fun. That's what we're all about. But during that time, we hope that you also learn something, that you're inspired to want to learn something.
What's new at the zoo with Jim Bar 2.
Catch At the Zoo exclusively on Main Street Media TV. Check our on-screen TV guide for days and times.
Vroom, vroom. Time for the Rackley Roofing 200, and it is going to be June 23rd out at the Nashville Super Speedway. And we partnered up, all of us here at Main Street Media TV, and we have joined with Rackley Roofing to send you. Yep, what you got to do to win, all you got to do is go to your favorite Main Street Media website, look for the Enter to Win banner, click there, and you're in. Like Flynn. Isn't that cool? Main Street Media TV and Rackley Roofing sending you to the races.
They said I wouldn't make it without a college degree.
They said only a man could be a roofing executive.
They said a former addict always relapses.
They said my amputation would keep me out of roofing.
They said never give an ex-convict a second chance.
They said I could never be a leader.
They said I couldn't support my family as a single mom.
At Rackley, we say they're wrong.
Want to change the world? Change it, one roof at a time.
Welcome back. It is time now for our Tennessee Traveler segment with one of our favorite people, Tom Adkinson. And today he is taking us to Lodge Museum of Cast Iron, which blows my mind that there's a museum for cast iron skillets. But Tom, tell us all about it and what's in store when we stop in.
Lodge cast iron cookware is known around the world, and maybe not that well known to some of your viewers. It's just down the road from us in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, almost all the way to Chattanooga.
Okay.
And they make some of the best cast iron cookware anywhere. It is distributed in 50 countries, sold in 70 countries, and it comes out of a little town of 3,100 people in Tennessee.
That blows my mind. Real quick, though, on the outside, this is the outside of the museum. They have like cast iron statues, yes.
Yeah. Built out of things that they've made, grills and pieces of other stuff, cookware, and they're really right good statues.
I love it. There's a little dog there and everything. So yep. What all is inside the museum? Do they go through the history of the Lodge cast iron?
Well, it's three parts in that building.
Okay.
There is certainly retail sales. Then there's the museum. And then there is a big bad breakfast. And for people who know Southern cooking and know John Currents from Oxford, Mississippi, he's a great Southern chef. He has a group of restaurants called Big Bad Breakfast, and there's one of them that's part of that complex. The museum tells you how cast iron cookware is made and tells you the history of the Lodge company. And to me, it was an intriguing story. A guy named Joseph Lodge was born in Pennsylvania right before the Civil War. After the war, he wandered all over the place, all over the Midwest. He circumnavigated South America. He lived in Cuba for a while. He was an engineer and a mechanic. And in 1876, ended up in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, a place that had a fledgling steel production company owned by a bunch of British people, which was common in the Southern Appalachians in the post-war period. And after he was there for a few years, his brother joined him and they started their own company. And here it is 5 generations later, and Lodge cast iron is a worldwide product.
Wow. It always makes me think, like, if I knew then what I know now, or if they, understood where their cast irons would go. I mean, could you imagine?
The story that the museum tells of how each successive generation figured things out, improved the process. One of the biggest things they did was figure that they could season a cast iron skillet or a cornbread muffin tin or a Dutch oven at the factory. And therefore, when you, Stephanie, buy a new skillet, you don't have to season it at home. And if you don't know about seasoning cast iron, it's an ordeal. So if somebody's going to do it for you, you're happy.
Oh, 100%. Well, I think it takes generations, because again, my cast iron, I believe it belonged to my great grandmother. I mean, it's been in my family for a long time.
And you'd better pass it along, because cast iron lasts forever. So,
yes.
But the museum is cool. The explanation of how things are made, the history of the Lodge family is great. And it's a good stop off of I-24. It's only about 2 miles south of the interstate at exit 152. The museum is not very old, less than a year. They've had a store there for a long time, but the museum itself is top-notch quality.
Well, I can't wait to stop in. And I think this is a great photo op right here. But there's also an extremely large cast iron skillet on the inside, because I saw your picture with the skillet.
They have the world's biggest cast iron skillet.
Of course they do.
It weighs 7 tons. It's 12 feet in diameter. And somebody at Lodge Cast Iron figured out that, if you could get it under get a heat element underneath it somehow, you could fry 650 eggs all at once.
How busy is the museum?
I was there on a weekday, not crowded at all, plenty enough to walk around, chat with people a little bit. And I suspect that some holidays might be busy, but it's not a huge attraction in numbers. So they have enough parking to take care of you. I can promise you that, though.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. There's been a couple museums that you've touched on in the Chattanooga area, this being one of them. The other one was it the garbage truck?
No, the International Towing Museum.
The towing museum. Yes. Sorry. Shame on me. That's why you're here to correct me. How close are these museums, and could that be a day trip?
They're 30 miles apart. You could certainly make that. Downtown Nashville to downtown Chattanooga is 2.25 hours. And you could throw in a good meal one place or another. Those two would be a nice museum combo day.
I think so. I think it would be. Is there anything else that stands out from this museum? And also, how did you find this one? I'm always curious to how you come across these locations.
I saw, I'm pretty sure that the thing that clued me to the museum was an early billboard.
Okay.
Indeed. And then when I saw that they had a restaurant attached to it, I said, I'm stopping.
Sold. How was the restaurant?
Oh, fine. I got a breakfast with a coastal South Carolina emphasis on it. It was scrambled eggs and andouille sausage and shrimp and cheese, and it came served in a little cast iron receptacle. That's not the word, but indeed it was cooked in cast iron and brought to the table that way.
Oh, I love it. Well, again, this wonderful museum that you can check out that's just right near Chattanooga. Tom, thank you so much for sharing this with us again. Lodge Museum of Cast Iron. We appreciate it, sir.
You're very welcome. Y'all keep traveling.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour. It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try. There aren't any cops around. Didn't think there were any cops around. I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Tell me your name, sir. You know who you are right now?